Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and Justin Jefferson are just a handful of young NFL stars who showed that you want to believe the hype when they produce early. Then again, former so-called future stars like Robert Griffin and Sam Bradford serve as cautionary tales that a hot start does not mean long-term success in the pros. So, with that laid out, how about we dive into 5 young NFL stars who will become Hall of Famers and 5 hype machines that will fizzle out very soon. Become a Hall of Famer, Drake May. We know that the loss to the Seattle Seahawks in Super Bowl 60 was tough for New England Patriots fans to watch. Now just imagine how painful it was for May. May stood absolutely no chance behind that vaunted Seattle defense, taking 6 sacks and turning the ball over 3 times. But you want to know something funny? John Elway lost his first 3 Super Bowls before winning 2 of his own. The Patriots had 0 expectations in 2025. May finished second in MVP voting behind Matthew Stafford after throwing for 4,394 yards and 31 touchdowns against only 8 interceptions. His Pats were 1 win away from a 7th Lombardi Trophy. Don't you think for a minute that this was peak Drake May? Folks, this was only the beginning. May and Mike Vrabel are just starting their operation together, and the Patriots' offensive line can only get better after being ripped apart in the postseason. And yeah, the weaponry around May will get better. Stephon Diggs isn't going to be his only Pro Bowl caliber receiver. This is more than talent and stats. It's poise, calmness, and swagger. May showed that he had it all in year 1. We wouldn't be shocked if he won multiple Super Bowls and MVP awards. So, Canton members, feel free to get an early head start on that Hall of Fame bust. Fizzle out, Jaden Daniels. Daniels had arguably the greatest rookie quarterback season ever in 2024. The number 2 pick and 2023 Heisman Trophy winner completed 69% of pass attempts for 3,568 yards, 25 touchdowns, and only 9 interceptions to go along with 891 rushing yards and 6 rushing scores. Daniels led Washington to a 12-5 finish, their best record since 1991. He led them to a thrilling wildcard round victory over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Washington's first playoff win in 19 years. Continuing that magic, Daniels' Commanders shocked the 15-win and top-seeded Detroit Lions in the divisional round. However, the magical run ended with a blowout loss to the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFC Championship game. But it nonetheless appeared to be the start of something very special in DC. Unfortunately, Daniels' sophomore season was a bit of a nightmare in, well, every single aspect. He was limited to 3 games because of hamstring and knee sprains, as well as a dislocated elbow. And don't mind us for already fearing that Daniels could be the next Robert Griffin III out in Washington. Like RG3, Washington showed 0 concern or regard for Daniels' well-being last season. And in hindsight, we should have really realized that 2024 was a fluky year, where Washington broke the analytics with their unsustainable success on 4th down plays. Also, the Commanders' roster is lousy outside of Daniels and Terry McLaurin. Their 3 NFC East rivals all have much deeper rosters and more cornerstone pieces. So, don't mind us in thinking that 2024 was peak Jaden Daniels. Not like Washington's got a rich history of developing QBs these days, too. Become a Hall of Famer, Will Anderson Jr. The Houston Texans got bold at the 2023 NFL Draft. After using the number 2 pick on Ohio State quarterback CJ Strad, they traded up via the Arizona Cardinals to select Alabama edge rusher Will Anderson Jr. at number 3 overall. While Stroud has been a model of inconsistency, Anderson Jr. already looks like someone who will take J.J. Watt's status as the Texans' franchise GOAT. No, it is not too early to say that after 3 seasons. Anderson has been a game-wrecking menace with 30 sacks, 6 pass breakups, and 4 forced fumbles over his first 3 seasons. Houston also reached the divisional round in each of Anderson's first 3 seasons. No small feat for a franchise that only had 4 playoff wins over the first 18 years of existence. Credit to head coach D'Amico Ryans for helping unlock Anderson's potential. The 2025 Texans defense was one of the best ever, and Stroud's lousy postseason performance does not take that away. We're still waiting to see what the deal is with Stroud, but Anderson, at this rate, looks like a lock for Canton. Fizzle out, Jordan Addison. Addison looked like a budding star after a phenomenal 2023 rookie season. Even though the Minnesota Vikings had to use 4 different starting quarterbacks that year, Addison still finished with 70 receptions for 911 yards and 10 touchdowns. If Addison could post those numbers with guys like Josh Dobbs and Nick Mullins thrown to him, then just what could he do with a capable starting starting quarterback? Well, not much apparently. Before the start of the 2024 season, Addison was arrested in Los Angeles for suspicion of driving under the influence. This was only the start of his off-the-field issues. He missed 2 games in 2024, but the 63, 875, and 9 stat line was still a bit of a disappointment, especially considering how excellent Sam Darnold was behind center for the Vikings in 2024. Addison struggled through a forgettable 2025 season, catching 42 passes for 610 yards and 3 touchdowns. He was also credited with 6 drops. A week after the Vikings' 2025 campaign ended, Addison was again arrested for misdemeanor trespassing in Tampa. Another terrible look for a receiver whose production has declined in consecutive seasons. So we're just left thinking that maybe Addison is not the star that looked to be in development in 2023. The production is not there. The off-the-field issues for a player this young are awfully concerning too. So maybe Addison as an NFL superstar just wasn't meant to be. Become a Hall of Famer? Caleb Williams. The Chicago Bears have been a quarterback graveyard for decades, but it looks like the #1 pick of the 2024 NFL Draft will buck this trend. Williams had a superb rookie season despite coaching malpractice, high Matt Eberflus, and taking a league-high 68 sacks. He threw for 3,541 yards, 20 touchdowns, and only 6 interceptions. Of course, the party really started after the Bears hired Ben Johnson. He helped Williams take his game to another level in 2025, throwing for 3,942 yards, 27 touchdowns, and 7 picks. Williams had 6 fourth-quarter comebacks in the regular season, and that's to say nothing of that epic comeback win over the arch-rival Green Bay Packers in the wildcard round, and the near-miracle comeback in an overtime loss to the Rams in the divisional round. Williams has displayed all-world quarterback play since coming to the Windy City. He was this close to getting them to the NFC title game in his sophomore year, and his partnership with Johnson is just getting started. You see the jaw-dropping quarterback play, clutch genesis, and ridiculous poise. Yeah, the Bears are going to send a QB to the Hall of Fame in the 21st century, folks. You better believe it. Fizzle out, Kavon Dibido. It's easy to forget now, but Dibido was once considered an early frontrunner to go first overall in a relatively weak 2022 NFL draft. The Jacksonville Jaguars would use the top pick on Trayvon Walker, with Dibido eventually going 5th overall to the New York Giants. Dibido showed some flashes in his rookie year, but he looked like a future superstar with an excellent 2023 season. He finished with 11.5 sacks, 4 pass breakups, and 3 forced fumbles. But it has been downhill for the Oregon product ever since. Injuries limited him to 22 games over the 2024 and 2025 seasons. He was hardly noticeable with 8 sacks in those games, and his Pro Football Focus metrics haven't been pretty. Dibido had 4 years now to put it all together, and instead, he looks like a rotational player at best. Become a Hall of Famer? Kyle Hamilton. Hamilton was considered a top 5 prospect entering the 2022 NFL Draft. But fortunately for the Baltimore Ravens, other teams didn't value the safety position that early. So the Notre Dame product fell right into their laps at number 14 overall. The fit has been perfect, as everyone expected. Hamilton has made a strong case as arguably the best defensive back in the NFL, and certainly the best safety by a country mile. Hamilton has been lights out in coverage, pass rushing, and run defense. Through 4 seasons, the 3-time Pro Bowler had 5 interceptions, 36 pass breakups, 6 forced fumbles, 8 sacks, with only a 76.8 passer rating allowed when targeted. All of this accomplished before his 25th birthday. Yeah, this kid is definitely in the Hall of Fame. But can he follow the footsteps of Ravens legend and Hall of Famer safety Ed Reed and eventually claim a Super Bowl championship ring? Fizzle out, CJ Strad. The year before Jaden Daniels went off, Strad put together his own season that many viewed as the best rookie QB campaign in NFL history. Despite missing 2 starts, Strad threw for 4,108 yards, 23 touchdowns, and only 5 picks for a passer rating of 100.8. Strad led Houston to the AFC South Division crown and a wildcard round victory over the Cleveland Browns before bowing out to the Baltimore Ravens in the divisional round. Despite playing all 17 games in 2024, however, Strad actually finished with fewer passing yards and touchdowns at 3,727 and 20 respectively. His passer rating fell to 87.0. Then in 2025, Strad missed 3 games, had 19 touchdowns, and 8 picks. Then, he wasted the Texans' generational defense by self-destructing in their divisional round loss with 4 interceptions in a 28-16 loss to the Patriots. Houston has got a stupendous defense and a good set of receivers. Stroud, however, has regressed more and more since his lights-out rookie year. And given his disappointing playoff performance up to this point, it is safe to question if Stroud will ever become the guy in Houston. Or anywhere else for that matter. Become a Hall of Famer, Puka Ngata. What more can be said about Ngata that hasn't already been said? The Los Angeles Rams struck gold when they drafted Ngata in the 5th round, 177th overall in 2023. See, there's a reason why GM Les Snead gets away with trading first-round picks like they grow on trees. 2023, Ngata set the rookie records for receptions with 105 and receiving yards with 1,486. Despite missing 6 games in his sophomore year, Ngata racked up 79 receptions for 990 yards and 3 touchdowns. Ngata was instrumental in Matthew Stafford claiming his first NFL MVP award in 2025. Ngata recorded a league-leading 129 receptions for 1,715 yards and 10 touchdowns in order to earn the first of many first-team All-Pro selections. Through 3 seasons, Ngata had 313 receptions for 4,191 yards and 19 touchdowns. In the postseason, he has 44 catches for 654 yards and 3 touchdowns. This is Justin Jefferson and Randy Moss-like production for a receiver before his 25th birthday, folks. Ngata is also in a good spot to keep on producing with Sean McVay running the offense. Honestly, 3 more seasons like this could be enough to get him in the Hall of Fame. Now, if Ngata could just get that Super Bowl ring, well, he has Stafford throwing to him. Fizzle out. Rashied Rice. Rice's rookie season couldn't have gone a whole lot better. The number 55 pick of 2023 emerged as the Kansas City Chiefs' top wide receiver, catching 79 passes for 938 yards and 7 touchdowns. Rice played a vital role in the Chiefs' Super Bowl 58 run, catching 26 passes for 262 yards and a touchdown. Kansas City defeated the San Francisco 49ers in overtime to repeat as Super Bowl champions, a feat that hadn't been accomplished since the 2003-2004 New England Patriots. So, less than 2 months after the Chiefs' Super Bowl 58 triumph, Rice was involved in a Dallas hit-and-run while racing his friend on a highway. He would later plead guilty to a pair of felony charges and was sentenced to 30 days in prison. Rice was also suspended for 6 games in 2025. In Week 4 of the 2024 season, Rice suffered a gruesome knee injury that required surgery, sidelining him for the rest of the year. He performed well in the 8 games that he suited up for in 2025, but that might be the last we see of prime Rashied Rice. After the season, Rice's ex-girlfriend accused him of viciously assaulting her during their relationship. She even posted photos showing the gruesome injuries as well as damage in her home, allegedly inflicted by Rice. And after the Super Bowl, the ex-girlfriend filed a lawsuit against Rice. Rice clearly cannot be relied upon to have a clean act and focus on football. The Chiefs have faced plenty of criticism in the past for employing players with baggage like Tyreek Hill, Frank Clark, and Kareem Hunt. Can they really go through all of this again with Rice? It just feels like Rice's problematic off-the-field behavior is bound to destroy what should have been a blossoming tenure in Kansas City. And sadly, he wouldn't be the first player to throw away his NFL career with significant legal matters. But which other young NFL stars will become a Hall of Famers, and which hype machines will fizzle out? Let us know in the comment section below. If you liked this video and learned a thing or two, then clicking the like button helps us out a ton. And you know, we really appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, then subscribing is a great idea, because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.